welcome to Happy Trails Hiking. Matt and I are starting our backpacking experience today, right?
That's right. We're at Matson Hill, and we're going to meet some other folks, and it's sort of a intro to winter backpacking tutorial, and we're going to go for a hike and maybe learn something about gear.
Yep. Special thanks to the St. Charles County Parks Department.
As well as just sort of review what we learned in session 1, because I know I see a lot of new faces today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we'll also set up tents once we get in the trail. So we'll hike down, eat lunch, set up a couple tents, learn about the differences between the 3-season and the 4-season tent. And then we'll do like some cooking options. Not that we're going to have like a gourmet lunch for everybody, but we thought we'd like show you different options and different things and ideas to eat for lunch.
Yeah.
So moisture is your enemy. So if you're working and you're sweating, that sweat will eventually turn to ice. And that is not good. So we don't want that. We don't want to be to have our body lose the temperature because we're perspiring and we're not able to regulate. So between now and March, like if you can get out and just kind of acclimate to the weather, that would be good as well. Good example of how to regulate the body. There was one time I was at Starbuck, Illinois, and it got below. It was in the negative degrees. So we went, we laid down in bed and got in our sleeping bag, and I decided to put one of those little hand warmer things on my feet because my feet were like freezing. So everything was good. I put it in my socks and I fell asleep. Well, it made my feet sweat at night, and then the moisture turned to ice, and I almost had like a really severe incident there. So, word to the wise. As far as like moisture and like for the women, one thing that I found is even in like the sports bras, the padding, they don't wick water. So I'll take out all the padding in those and then get left with the wicking material. So when you have that wicking material against your body, then it will evaporate. So even if you do kind of lose some, you want to be wearing the right thing. So like cotton against your skin, is it no, you want to leave out cotton, leave cotton at home. Start with like wool up against your body, so then it will dry faster as well. So then that kind of leads. Okay, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was going to also add, or synthetic blend also works well. Wool's sometimes expensive, so they have a lot of options for synthetic clothing that will also wick moisture really, really well. I prefer wool because it keeps you warmer than synthetic in my opinion, but definitely there's more options there if you have like a budget. But yeah, just layers. The key is layers. I see everyone here really has some pretty good layers on, so that is awesome. Switching out your socks. I try to switch out my socks a lot when I hike because especially when it's cold, I don't want them, like Cindy was saying, my toes get all like frostbitten in a way. So switch out your socks or your other socks that are sweaty on the back of your backpack. Let them dry for a little bit, then switch them out again. And then definitely if you're wearing like a down, if you start sweating, it'll start compressing, and that's not really great. So just taking off that down layer, if you do start to sweat, it'll really cool you down quickly. And the key is to be, I think, comfortably cool. You don't want to be toasty warm because that means you're sweating, but you don't want to be freezing. But what you do is you bend your neck forward and you feel for that bone. So everyone bend their neck forward and feel for that bone that sticks out in the back of your neck. So that's called your iliac crest. And actually now, since I found Cindy's bone, I'm going to have her look up straight now and stand straight. And then I take and put her hands on her hips. And then, so I have this point up top, and then I have her hands on her hips, and then I go in between the hands on her hips, which is about right here, and I measure from this point on the top to this point on the bottom with a flexible measuring tape to exactly line up against her body. And I wouldn't want to do it with all these layers because it might give an inaccurate reading. And then once you get your measurement, each backpack company has sort of like a sizing guide for each particular backpack. So you go online and say, I really like the Stratos 24 Osprey. I'm going to go online and see if Cindy's a size 17-inch torso. I'm going to see, is that a small, is that a medium, is that a large for the Stratos Osprey.
We're going to head out on Matson Hill Trail, do 2 loops today, attend supposedly 6 miles. So here we go.
Let's start. And we're going to start, it doesn't show the connector right there, but we're going to get onto that blue trail.
Okay, so the blue, so we're going to come up.
Yep, it's going to be Matson Hill, and then we're going to catch the oxen.
Is that the yellowish color?
Yeah,
Okay,
Matson Hill
that's a little harder to
Trail
see.
is the yellow trail.
Okay.
And we'll make the loop and then hit back, come back on the Matson Hill and come back. So we'll go half the Matson Hill, do the oxen mill, and then the other half of Matson.
Okay, so we're staying basically above the road.
So you saw at the beginning the Rangers, Cindy and Abigail, going over pack and setup and things that you would need to take in your pack. We haven't actually unpacked a pack yet or talked about any of the things that we have in our pack yet. So that will be interesting conversation for later. I know that Matt and I are missing a few things. Today I packed peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and a few like Cliff Bars and things for us to eat for lunch. We are going 6 miles. They say that we're going to go out and set up a tent and things today. Maybe not our tent, but they're going to do a demo for us. They do have another event coming up in the middle of March. You would have had to have come on either this event or one in January to be a part of that event. But that will be an overnight backpacking at one of the other parks here in the St. Charles County Parks Department. So we're still trekking. The trail is not too muddy, and we're in about a mile at this point.
This is a Sawyer squeeze. This is a handheld. It could be gravity, but that'd take a long time. But it's a handheld filter that you just put your dirty water in here. You attach this on. I use a smart water bottle because it has the same exact threads as the Sawyer squeeze bottom. And then I use the smart water bottle top because I really hate the Sawyer top. I think it's obnoxious. It allows way too many air bubbles.
Okay,
So,
good to know.
tip.
I just have the regular one.
Yeah. So I need to find a spot. So I gotta fill up my water.
So like over here, you wouldn't try to take it out of that little cooler? You better have it running like that? Just for,
It'll filter whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just trying to get it in the bottle a little bit easier instead of dunking my hand in the water. That's a little cold.
How many bottles do you typically carry?
I carried about 2 liters. But in the desert, there's
A
about
how many
gallon.
will
Few
that
more.
filter?
Yeah.
4. I'm sorry?
How many will that filter?
A lot.
Okay.
This will last
It's like 1 million
5
gallons.
months or something. It's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gallons,
and,
I never tried it.
Yeah, so then you just
But you can't freeze it.
squeeze,
Nope.
and it's fresh water.
Just like that?
Just like that.
At this spot, Ranger Cindy also set up for a cold soak food prep demonstration. So when Matt and I have been to Matson Hill before, you've seen the one loop that we did. That's the 3-mile loop, or just shy of 3 miles. We are now off on a different part of the trail here at Matson Hill. It's getting a little soupier, a little more mud, but still very pretty. Nice hike, great people to hike with. Time to wash your feet.
Yeah, get off some of the mud, but it's kind of futile.
Yeah?
Your legs probably look about the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty muddy out here today.
Oh, that's cool.
Retired?
We found our lunch spot. This is where we're gonna set up for lunch and hang out for a while. During our lunch stop, Rangers Abigail and Cindy showed off their cooking equipment and the meal options that you would have while you're out on the trail. We also set up tents to compare them from a 4-season tent to the 3-season tents that we had along. Matt and I decided to set ours up again just for a little bit more practice. We have our tent set up here, and this one is a Big Agnes tent, and that's the one that Ranger Abigail had on the PCT, and that MSR over there is a brand new one that Cindy has, and we'll go take a look at them. Okay, so this is the
Copper Spur Mountain Glow Big Agnes 2-person tent.
Okay. And how much does it run if you wanted to buy one new?
About $300. So they're a little
Okay.
pricey. This did last, except for the little mouse holes from one night.
Oops.
This did last the whole Pacific Crest Trail with no problems. We really liked it. It was very roomy and airy and lightweight. It's about 2 pounds.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
Okay, thank
about
you.
it. But,
Cool. Thanks. So compared to ours, TETON Sports, and Abigail said she didn't put on the Rainfly, so, but they does have one too. So ours is 4 pounds. This is the MSR tent. Cindy, how much did this one run?
Around 5.
Around 5. Okay. Gotcha. And is it a 2-person tent?
It is a 2%.
Okay.
2% tent, double wall,
Okay.
4-season.
Okay. Matt said we did 6.1 miles, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, in Matson Hill Park, and we really did enjoy hanging out with the group, and Cindy and Abigail really knew their stuff and very helpful information. Felt like I was hiking with people. They weren't all beginners, so that was cool. Lots of the backpackers or people in the group had backpacking experience already, so there were people from no backpacking experience at all, and hardly hiking experience, to people who had been on the PCT. So that was really neat.
So this was the first time out with the new pack. Now we didn't have an awful lot of weight. All I had was a sleeping bag and tent and some water and a couple of snacks. But it did well, and I don't have any aches or pains. You know, I noticed a little bit of weight. So it's that, you know, one short little trip isn't enough to judge a pack, but the first time out felt pretty good.
Yeah, I was happy with mine as well. Yeah, it was different, I think. I know that we're missing a few things that we'll need for an actual backpacking trip, but yeah, I think the first time out and setting up our tent and comparing it to the other tents that were there, I'm pretty pleased with our time out.
Yeah, I think the design of our tent is similar to what we saw in the others. This tent is a little heavier, but it costs a lot less. So
Yep.
I think the tent, so far at least, continues to represent a good value when we got to see them side by side with the other more expensive ones.
Okay, if you have any questions or comments about what we did today for our first polar backpacking experience with St. Charles County Parks, please leave those questions in the comment section below. And I guess we'll sign off till next time. This is Kay and Matt from Happy Trails Hiking. Thanks so much for watching.